Welcome back, guys. So today I actually did a previous stream like an hour ago, and it did something messed up my entire setup. I lost almost all my code that I wrote for past 2 weeks in file.c, and I was trying to see if I could recover it. And after a long time, I figured that VS Code had this history feature, and almost most of my changes were backed up there. And so finally, VS Code saved my day. If not, I should have to write the entire parse GDT again, and inode num to inode node, and also the parse entries. So it's like three functions. That's like 3 weeks of work that I did that got fucked up. And it's the more important issue was that I was not saving anything in my git, and that was the bad thing I did. So I figured I should be properly um, adding all the commits to my branch every week. So I just pushed a commit an hour ago to confirm everything is working. So this has all the changes that I did in past 3 weeks. Okay, so the whole idea of today's session is to make sure I compile everything, the entire setup that's been written for like past 3 weeks. We were just going through the theory of the entire x4 file system parsing, and we actually wrote all the setup, but it's completely just theory converted into syntax. We did not try to run it, and today we are supposed to write it fully. So yeah, I'll just assume that this is my first stream for today, and I'll start here. So to give a general overview, we are writing our own kernel, and we have almost done with our scheduler. We've done with our scheduling, MMU, interrupt handling, syscalls, block layer, and currently we are working on the file system layer, and this should allow us to load binaries directly from the file system. So it would be like an actual exec call. We can implement an actual exec call, things like that. Yeah, so let's get into it, see if we can compile it and get it working properly. And I guess probably from this week on, I will not have my extra monitor, because in another 2 weeks I'm taking my vacation, so I'll be going to India, and there I won't have my monitor. So I'm just getting used to not having a monitor, and also not having a table, because here I have my standing table, so I can just stream there, maybe sit, stand, whatever I want to do. But back in home I don't have it, so I'll have to get used to this setup. So I'm just trying to see how comfortable is it, to test it, if I want to do anything or not, or something like that. So that's what I'm just, this week is just to get an idea of how this setup works. Yeah, but in general, other than that, my neck pain, I guess nothing should be different. Yeah, let's get started. And now almost every change is there. This is where we left off last week. We finished the entire GDT parsing, and also we finished the parse entry with our linked list. Remember, there's no point in adding linked list, but we still added it, so it would, we don't have to match arrays. And yeah, and we are done with the depth 0 and other conditions. We also updated the things. Almost everything is done. We can actually write the things for the actual file open, but before that, let's try to build it. and fix the errors, and we have a lot of them. Also, I was gonna switch to NeoVim, but yeah, so today VS Code setup somehow managed to save my day, so I feel like I have to stick with VS Code, and I'm getting the best things about Vim is just the typing experience, and in general having to switch between things just using keys, it's just fun. So I get the same feeling here with the Vim emulation, and I get the multi file search, and just in general switching between files. I mean, I'm fine with switching between files based on buffer, but still, but still, I think I'm just gonna stick with the VS Code and Vim emulation. This feels more natural for me. I was gonna try Vim, and today was the perfect day. My entire setup fucked up, and somehow VS Code saved the day. So now I'm gonna not think about Vim for a while, and then I'm probably gonna come back to it some other day. But until then, VS Code is gonna be the one. Okay, whatever. Let's go. Let's fix things now. Let's go to 35 here. Okay, this is something that we did fix, but it is not that because we changed everything. So let's put u in 64. Okay. Okay, what else? Line number 158. Here we are returning 0, and it's a void function. You are not supposed to return anything like that. And what else? I guess probably the same thing goes here. Maybe we can change it and just return something. It doesn't matter. We can think about it later if in case it is needed. Now let's go back to line number 256. Here we have char buffer, but the block read is actually giving u in 64. So we need to char. And what else? And file C, line number 303 here. Incompatible integer to pointer conversion, returning int from a function with. Okay, am I returning int? But this is expecting a file pointer. Okay. How do we return two things? Maybe we just return 0 then. That way it would be just null. Okay, what else? 379. Okay, 379. Here, let's just make it x for groups, group pointer. Okay, good to go. I think we can recompile it. Okay, there's two warnings. We don't have to fix the initial DTD warnings. That's not our work. Let's see 98. We have inodes, but we are not returning anything. Why the fuck? Okay, okay, that's not good. We'll return results. Okay, that's done. Let's go back to 309. Okay, I can already feel that this setup is just fucking with my head. Whatever. Because I don't have a table in my house, so I guess I have to live with this. Okay. Also, I've been sitting here for like past 2 hours. If if the VS Code setup did not fuck up things, I should have just been here for 1.5 hours, and my neck shouldn't be paining this much. Uh, okay, and 309 is warning because we don't have anything there. We are not right. We haven't written anything. Actually, maybe we should just write this implementation too. Because other than that, everything passed and it ran. Now it's time to actually call those functions so we can actually see what is happening. So we are pausing this. Let's say and here let's just return 0. So everything compiles. Okay, everything compiles. Now we just have to read. Okay, well, so we want to read a file. So what do we do? How do we read a file? We are supposed to use our helpers. Mounting should have already set up this pointer. Okay, so I think we can use that pointer. Okay, it should be something like auto. I know you don't have to use auto. Not C++. There is auto keyword in C too, right? I don't remember. We never used it. Okay, what am I supposed to do here? Let's just check what's in there first of all. X4 global pointer groups. Okay, let's go back to our documentation. So user space will pass a FD as a number, not as a file, and once we have the file struct, we know the current position. Okay. This is f open, that is for f read probably, because f open is supposed to actually set up the file struct and add it to the process. Okay, So initially I have a character name, so I go through. How do I convert the character, I mean the file name, into an inode? We probably have to go through every node, yeah, because we have the full path. We're not going to support relative path currently. So we start by going to root node. We list all the uh, files within it. Currently, in our example, it's etc. So we list all the directories within it. We check if directory is in the root node. We go into that node. We get the file there. We list it. So we actually have to write a recursive function, something like that. Okay, makes sense. I think we can do that because we know that there's always gonna be there's always gonna be one root node, and we already know the I know number of that root. And if our input is something like this, we just start with inode root node. We check all the directories within it. We see if a name matches etc. If it matches, we go into that directory. We then check the next thing. Okay. um okay. Hi. I'm still compiling. Okay, so it's gonna be, I start from root node and I list all the directories within it. So it's something like extent entries for root nodes. So it's going to be inode 2. No, inode to number is going to give, maybe I have a better helper. Which helper should I call first? I think I first call inode to inode number, so I get the inode, actual inode, and then I pass it down to parse entries, because inode block probably has the inode, inode entry probably has this and the number of entries, and whether or not is it a leaf. So it's going to be root inode, and it's going to be inode, and we can pass inode as 2 because 2 is the root number of root inode. And then we can say what we have here. Let's see, we have id, metadata, size, and type. Okay, what's inside metadata? We have created name. So I can't do anything with this. It's just waste of time. Fucking hell. Get the root inode, get all its extents. So that is what we want to do. If I get the root inode and then maybe I get a index, I can use that to index within. Index within that group's inode table. Something like that. I think so. I think that should be how it should work. What? I still don't understand how I'm supposed to convert from my root inode to inode block. Let's see if we can find it. What are we passing as inode ID? Maybe that's the index. I just named it wrong. I have iBlock, but I'm not saving it anywhere. Why the fuck? See, inode number to inode is actually parsing everything, and it has got the inode block because this is the metadata that is gonna actually have the extents. So we do have it, but the result inode only has result.id, which is inode, and that's not good. So probably we need to give something like result dot should have it. Well, let's just define it. inode should have character star I block, and then here we can say I block equal to I block. So now we have the actual inode block. Okay, so here within here we can just take char star I block equal to root node dot I block. So now we have the I block value. Now we can call parse extend block. Here we can just pass the inode block, which is I block, and we need to pass block results. So let's initialize it. So we will put block result equal to block result, and it's gonna be kmalloc size of block results, and we can pass that here. That's it. Now parse entry should now we have all the block results. So within every block we can say something like let's just take one block result. So it's going to be result value, and we have the logical block and the physical block, and also the counts. So let's just read the block. Let's just read one physical block. Char star read equal to char star kmalloc (4096). Let's read 4000 blocks, 4000 KB bytes, 4000 bytes, and what the fuck am I saying? And then we can call block read. It's going to be sector, which is the physical block, and the size and the buffer first of all. So it's going to be red, and the size is 4096. Okay, let's first of all read this and see what happens, and then we can just print what is in there. You are printf and red for root, and it's gonna just print everything that we have read. Let's see what's in there and then we'll decide. Okay, now something fucked. Okay, what happened? Hmm. B did not support for relative paths. What the fuck? What did we do? All we did is that we just took inode 2, which is considered as root. We reached it and we parsed it and we got the inode block. Holy fucking moly. Let's run it once more. Let's see what happens. For some reason, if I use Kemu logs, things don't work constantly. There is some sort of a race going on somewhere. Okay, let's print the inode block. Let's see what's in there. And then let's parse it and let's print Count physical block. Let's see the physical block. What is the physical block? No, it will run instantly. It's not even going to the first function. We mounted it and then we are trying to open it. Looks like we did not reach this one either. We need to print all of these and see which one is not working. Okay guys, my I have already been sitting in front of this fucking computer for past 3 hours, so I guess I'll continue this from next week. From next tomorrow, I'll just continue there. I think we should be able to crack this if we put print statements everywhere and see which one is fucking breaking and then figure it out. But other than that, today mostly 2 hours was spent on figuring out why my VS Code setup just fucked up that file. So yeah, this day has been a disaster. But at least we have the code back, so it was not that bad. Okay. Thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.